Today I want to talk about a very simple thing. What are ghosts? Well, believe it or not, what most people actually think ghosts are is based upon superstition and folklore. Now, did you know that there was actually scientific studies done to determine what this phenomenon is based on? Well, want to find out what it is? Keep watching. The first series of studies on ghosts were conducted by the Society of Psychical Research back in the 1880s. They started by collecting as much data as possible on the phenomenon so that they could analyze it. Now this kind of makes sense. If you want to study something, you need to know the traits of that something. And the way to do that was to analyze what people were experiencing and then sort the data and try to figure out what's causing it. Well, anyway, in 1889, Henry Sidgwick began a large project to compile a census of hallucinations. Now for his team, he chose the two Myers brothers, Frank Podmore, Miss Sidgwick, his wife, and a woman named Alice Johnson. Now the main objective of this census was to question a representative section of the public for evidence of telepathy. In particular, telepathy which appeared to take the form of waking hallucinations. Now they took also a lot of, we'll say, effort to get rid of things like dreams, night terrors, that kind of thing. Anything that resembled that, they actually removed it out of the census. So they worked for 5 years on this thing, and they collected more than 17,000 replies from members of the Republic to a very simple question. And this question was, had they ever, when awake, had the impression of seeing, hearing, or being touched by anything which, as far as they could discover, was not due to any external cause? Now nearly 10% of the persons approached answered yes. The 10% were put through a third degree, as a result of which was found that the number of these hallucinations appeared to be veridical. Now those results were compared against the proportion of death coincidences to the waking hallucinations, and that was found to be 1 in 43, or 440 times the number likely to be caused by chance alone. So what is a veridical hallucination? Well, with regard to parapsychology, it is an alleged fantasy or impossible occurrence, like the sighting of a ghost, which is regardless still seen by more than one individual. Since it contains perception in lieu of a stimulant, the encounter is categorized as a hallucination. Now that being said, it is still a mutual experience and is considered veridical instead of illusionary.
While you might question the results of the census, as the study was done a long time ago, it has actually been duplicated by many other studies done since. Many hallucinatory experiences in normal healthy life are associated with the edge of sleep, and the hypnagogic and hypnopompic states are well known, usually manifesting as a vivid visual imagery upon falling asleep or waking. The census and later studies have removed cases where there's some doubt as to whether the recipient was fully awake. Out of these later studies, the one performed by Rebecca Smith is quite interesting. Although her study had fewer sightings of apparitions, the characteristics of the apparitions were identical to those contained in the original census of hallucinations conducted 100 years prior. Another interesting trait that was observed is how the appearance of the apparitions seemed to have an area effect. One case that was documented by Andrew Green occurred where 5 people were involved. 4 saw the ghost, but the 5th, despite descriptions and details of his exact location, was unable to see it. All were roughly facing towards the apparition of a woman in white. Witness E failed to see it. The descriptions given by Witness C and D were identical. Witness A saw it as expected, but Witness B described the figure as being several feet away on her left, whereas the other 3 placed its position as only 2 feet from her right-hand side. This strongly suggests that the witness nearest the apparition was only viewing it through the eyes of one of the others, especially since she stated that she could only see its back view. From her position, at least some sort of profile should have been visible. Witness E, incidentally, was in a hurry and concentrating to getting on work on time, whereas the other 4 admitted they were not thinking about anything in particular. We all know we can hallucinate, even if our only experience of hallucination is in the world of dreams. Such ghosts will share certain properties, being the product of a disordered brain. These are called false hallucinations. Now, the theoretical properties of these false hallucinations in relation to ghosts are: 1. They will only appear to one witness at a time. As I just stated, apparitions are often seen by multiple people at the same time. However, through misperception, that is, when there's something there, it just fools the senses like in an optical illusion, it could be theoretically shared by many. If a stick in the water looks like Nessie, it's quite possible that hundreds of observers could simultaneously see it and reach the erroneous conclusion that it is a lake monster. Number 2. They will not convey no information to the recipient that was not known to them at the time. If a ghostly figure appears tonight to a witness and tells him that he's the winner of the lottery, we would all be impressed. But if it subsequently turns out to be incorrect, we might wonder if that person dreamt the whole thing. Yet even if the witness was right, that could still be the explanation. The conveying of the veridical information adds weight to the apparition being an external thing, not a hallucination, but that does not alone substantiate it. Number 3. They will not objectively cause physical, real-world effects. That means no opening doors, moving objects, or otherwise impinging upon physical reality. Being mental constructs, they can't. If physical effects are ascribed to a ghost, then they must be misattributed. Number 4. They will not reappear in the same place over time to different witnesses. Now this might require a little bit of explanation. If it is known that a building is supposedly haunted by a Civil War general, we should not be surprised if others claim to see the ghost. However, if over a period of many years many people witness that apparition and agree on certain characteristics independently and without foreknowledge of the reported haunt, then we may be justified in doubting the falsital hallucination explanation.
So the reason I decided to do this video was to remind everybody about the veridical hallucination stuff. It's been forgotten about. It's been overshadowed by all the superstition, folklore, basic crap that's been generated by the paranormal community since the 1960s. This is what the science is, and what we actually really do know about ghosts. So in future videos, I'm actually going to be including a little bit more information from all of these different studies that have been done. And there's fascinating stuff. What are the physical characteristics of these things? Where are these things seen? You know, they actually have percentages, things like that. So if you like the video, please like it, subscribe to the channel. I would highly appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next video. Later.